why you, yes you, should go to Japan. Food in Japan is incredible. I was also quite apprehensive because Japan is known for its fish, its sushi, and I don't really like fish, so I was slightly worried that I wouldn't get on well with the food, but I got on well with the food. I also had some of the best beef I have ever had in my life in Osaka. There was this little beef store. It sounds really weird. There was a little beef store on the side of the road. That sounds really dodgy, a little beef store on the side of the road. But what they sold was Kobe beef, which is one of the best cuts of beef in the world. And I've never had beef that just melted in my mouth. It is just absolutely incredible. So if you go to Osaka, look out for the little beef store on the side of the road. It's definitely worth going. I really didn't expect to be eating Mickey Mouse's hand, but it was good. There is this bakery by Ueno Park that does the most amazing desserts and amazing like cakes, and they sell breakfast, and they have these like curry pastries that were just incredible. Also, I had never had ramen before I went to Japan, and I was slightly nervous because I had never had it, and I started out with curry ramen and then I just never wanted to get anything else. It was so good. The food was absolutely incredible, and I really liked the onigiri rice balls where you can just walk into a 7-Eleven and just get them for lunch. They were so good. And oh, if you don't like fish, Japan is still for you. Honestly, it's still for you. And if you love fish, it is for you. It is just for you. Most people normally say that if you go to Tokyo, you want about 4 days. Honestly, I feel like I could have stayed in Tokyo for 2 weeks. I think we were there a week and I still felt like we had more to do. I really wish we had more time in Tokyo. It's such a massive city. You can go to the Sky Tower in Tokyo and it is so amazing. It's the tallest building in Tokyo and you can see the whole of Tokyo, even Mount Fuji on a good day. It's incredible. Tokyo is so massive. You don't realise how big it is until you get to the Sky Tower and just see it all. One place I would recommend going is Nara. The oldest temple in Japan is in Nara, which is an absolute incredible sight. It is so old yet so beautiful, and the park is full of deers. And you can buy deer food to feed them, and they do like a little bow and you give them food and you bow back, and it is honestly the most amazing thing I have ever done. One of the best places that I went was the Torii Gates. There are over 32,000 gates in this forest, all going up the mountain, and it's just so beautiful. I've never done a walk where I've just been surrounded by such beautiful carved gates. The walk takes around 2 hours, but honestly it doesn't feel that long because you're too busy looking at all the shrines, looking at all the gates. One thing I would say that if you go to the Torii Gates, you really want to be there quite early because it does get jam-packed. So if you want beautiful photos with nobody in the gates, you need to get up and go a bit early because all these tourist spots like the bamboo forest get full and there's so many people around. Another place I went to in Kyoto, as well as the Torii Gates, I also went to the Golden Temple. It was beautiful. It's this golden temple set on this little lake or pond. I'm not quite sure what classifies as a lake or a pond, but it was honestly so scenic and so beautiful. It's this old Buddhist temple, and honestly just go, it's so cool. Even though the flights might be expensive, the accommodation can be really cheap. You can sleep in pod beds, which are less than a tenner a night. And I was slightly worried, being 5'8", that I might not feel comfortable in these pod beds, but honestly they were so spacious. They really were. They were so nice. And it didn't feel claustrophobic either. They were quite wide, you can sit up in them. There are obviously some that might be a little bit more cramped, but it was actually a really fun experience sleeping in a pod. Something I will never forget. We also stopped in a traditional Japanese hotel, and honestly, it costs quite a bit, but it is definitely worth the experience. It had an onsen as well, so it had a really nice hot bath. When we left to go for dinner, we came back up and they had made our beds, and it was so cool. I have never experienced anything like it, and I definitely advise you to at least do one traditional stay if you're out there. Talking of hotels, we actually stopped in the Robot Hotel. It was an interesting experience. We broke it instantly when we went in. We were trying to scan our passports and, well, for the dinosaurs, and they couldn't understand, so there had to be a person to come out to actually help us get into the hotel, which kind of, you know, killed the experience a little bit. And we also saw some robot fish and some dinosaurs. The robot fish was, well, you'll see in the video. I don't think this robot fish is surviving very well in its tank. It's not moving. We also had a little robot in the room that could not understand anything I was saying. I think it's my Midlands accent. It just couldn't understand anything I was trying to say. But it was a fun experience nevertheless. I also want to point out that everybody in Japan that I met was so polite and so nice. Also, the technology out there is just incredible. We went on the Shinkansen, which is the speed train, and I have never been on a train where I felt like you were on a plane, on the runway, ready to take off, and then never taking off. And it was a very weird sensation when it first started out, because I was leaning back, ready to take off, but you eventually kind of get used to it. But it was definitely really cool. I have never been on such a fast train. It felt like I was on Rita at Alton Towers. It was really, really fun. Talking of technology, there's also the robot show, and I am so gutted I never got to see this. But you can go for a meal and watch the robots dance, and I really, really wish I had time to see it. But that's one thing that I'll have to go back and see. Japan also feels like it could be New York in a sense. The amount of beautiful lights and screens everywhere was just such a cool sight when you're walking down the street. Even though it's advertising, it was so pretty. I felt like I was in the future. I felt like I was in Blade Runner or Tron or one of those futuristic films. It was so cool seeing all the lights. Japan is the #1 country I just want to go back to. I want to go back, I want to take this camera, and I just want to show you how incredible it is. You honestly should just go to feel like you're in the future. You need to go and experience the technology, go to experience the lights, go to experience the culture, go to experience the people. It is such an amazing country. So go. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, why not? It's free. And hopefully I will see you all in the next one. Bye!